A very good morning to you on Friday, the 4th of December. I join you on a bit of a wet morning, with a bit of a new haircut as well. One of my year 11 said to me, "Sir, are you sure that's a number 3 at the sides?" And I assured him it absolutely was. I would not break any of our own school rules, of course, but thank you to for the input from that young man. Okay. By the way, we do these messages every Friday. If you're sick to death of them, if you'd rather I went back to a written version or scrapped it all together, then please say so. I think communication with parents is vital, and a good number do look at this. But yeah, some feedback if whether a different format would be more appropriate or more palatable to the viewing public. Anyway, do let me know. As I say, a good week so far. It is Friday morning. I'm about to start interviewing for a new teaching assistant, and that is a great thing because we've added to the team with 2 additional TAs in the spring term and in the summer, and it's a reflection of supply and demand, really, I suppose, and more young people with EHCPs applying to come here because they know the provision we offer is very, very supportive, very thorough, and meets their needs. So it's a real feather in our cap that parents should choose to send their children here to be supported by our SEND department. So credit to Mrs. Norbury, our SENCO, to Mrs. Cooper, who oversees the SEN department as SLT line manager, and all our wonderful 7 TAs, and hopefully we'll make another appointment today to add to the strength of that team. So that's my day, or part thereof. Yeah, been a good week COVID-wise again. We have one further student who has tested positive, but that was a transfer from a family member at home, and that student hadn't been in school. They were isolating leading up to that, so no further self-isolations based on that positive case. So it's looking pretty good. I think, yeah, there is that positive, isn't there? There's talk about the vaccine all the time and some being issued next week. And we see that the numbers continue to drop in Greater Manchester more widely, but specifically in Trafford as well. So fingers crossed for that review on the 16th of December, and the Greater Manchester may also be after that in Tier 2. But it bodes well for the end of term, and it bodes well for Christmas, and fingers crossed for January as well. Mr. Holt has asked, on that note, because of all that and the success I mentioned last week, teachers are moving back to their own teaching bases as of Monday. That's gone down really well, particularly among staff, of course, a real morale boost and to make their life far easier and enable them to be able to teach more effectively, being back in their own bases. But pupils have welcomed the idea of a bit more of movement, just those couple of times a day, and well received by parents as well. So a good move to end the term, and we'll see significant benefits from that tweak to our procedures. We know I don't perceive any threat, if you like, to our control measures and the health and safety of our young people and staff on school site. Okay, Mr. Holtz asked me to mention also COVID related that our parents' evenings will inevitably take place virtually, a system which is used nationally called School Cloud. We have going to be adopting. I think a letter and email is going out this evening from Mr. Holt explaining the system. Whenever it's your child's turn for parents' evening, you'll get notification a few weeks in advance, and you can go online, you can sign up for your appointment time. On the night itself, of course, that removes any jostling for positions in the queue and who's going when, and staff being a bit too garrulous and going past their 3 minutes where the allocated time might be. So it makes things a lot slicker. 3 minutes appointment in most year groups. There's a cut-off point, then it moves on to the next person, so you won't be kept waiting. I know exactly what your timings are, and you can sit there with a brew and have a good chin wag with your child's teachers in the meantime. So School Cloud, new system, details going out this evening, and again, booking will be taking place in advance of those parents' evenings in January in the main. Okay, on another message from Mr. Holt, another thing he's responsible for is careers, oversight of that. We had a very successful virtual National School and College Leavers conference show on I think it was Wednesday, was it, when we sent young people home early. Tuesday maybe, one day this week. Sent them home early, and we can monitor the engagement and it was fantastic, and possibly a more effective afternoon spent than being there face to face. I don't know, and certainly the people, the stall holders, the companies and institutions manning that were very positive, and the feedback was excellent. And we could look at some of the comments and questions from young people and see they really were engaging. So that was a great event, and maybe a model for the future as well. But well done to the young people in year 11 and above who engaged in that event early on this week. And thank you to Mr. Holt and Mr. Plater, our Connections advisor, for organising and coordinating that. I suppose the big news this week as well was the announcement from the DfE, Department for Education, about exams in 2021, which broadly and largely I welcome. The devil's in the detail, and that will come out in January, but it's good news in the main. I don't believe you can possibly ever, but certainly this year, make it a complete level playing field, an exam system entirely fair. What is fairness, and how do you bring that about with an exam system? It's a very complex situation, isn't it? But I think they've done their bit. We announced a few weeks ago, of course, the intention to push them back 3 weeks. That in itself was never going to be enough. But now we have things like there'll be multiple papers if you miss it in the summer. Hopefully no exams will be missed, but if they are, there's a chance to resit those in the summer cycle as well. We know there'll be some pre-release material, some idea of topics and themes in advance and early on in the new year. So we can aim towards those and teach towards those. There will be some other pre-release material in the format of formula sheets for maths and science possibly, and other subjects as well. So yeah, some research going into that by Ofqual and subject specific experts outside of here, and we'll find out more in January. I suppose one of the most significant parts of that announcement was the fact that the grade profile will resemble 2020, which we know was slightly more generous than previous years. So the 2021 grades, this cohort, will resemble 2020, which was slightly elevated from previous years, which is good news in the main. And let's just hope that the right people get the right grades and get their just desserts on the back of that. I suppose from a purely selfish Wellington point of view, delighted exams are going ahead. It has to be the fairest way of assessing people's progress and their learning over the 5-year journey. And the fact that our year 11s, and indeed our year 13s, have been in regularly and consistently with very few positive test cases and very few isolations, and hopefully that will continue into the new year. Our young people will be well positioned to do well in those exams in the summer, and of course ordinarily we are well above national averages, and hope that is reflected again in summer 2021. So generally, we welcome that announcement from the government on Thursday. Only yesterday, it seemed a lifetime ago. Other announcements included there were the fact that Ofsted will not begin their inspections in the new year, delayed to the summer term. Performance tables will not be published as such either. And all that is good news and gives teachers and schools space to do what we want to do, i.e. teach young people, educate young people in the best way possible. So all good stuff there. Okay, I'm just looking at my list of other things to mention this week. There are an exercise, Miss Ransomere, young people in year 8, I think it was, pronouncing very long German compound words. We've got timetable rock stars in year 7s from maths. We have a year 8 creative writing thing in English from Miss Hitchens. We have Miss Baxter, our wonderful exams officer, and her team of invigilators met online on Tuesday. I think had a few slurps of vino or mulled wine, whatever, and had a bit of a wreath making session led by one of their number who's an expert in that field. So hopefully some pictures of that online as well. But Mrs. Baxter's got a great invigilator team. They're a real family that she's nurtured, and that was great to see. Bit of festive joy there as well. So yeah, some good stuff to read through there. Just the final thing, I suppose, from me. Another letter going out as well. Christmas dinner next Wednesday. If young people want to buy Christmas dinner, get into the festive spirit. Lots of things going on. There'll be a sixth form Christmas jumper day, raising money for charity. There's food bank collections that Miss Taylor, Crook and Miss Gray are doing. What else have we got as well? There's a Mission Christmas continues, and Mrs. Copeland is coordinating. So any donations of food and other Christmas toys for young people would be very, very welcome indeed. I know it's a lot to ask at this time, but let's see if we can do our bit to make other people's Christmases that bit more special than perhaps they otherwise would have been. I got a great gift this week. Shreya in Year 10, Delightful Shreya, brought me a hamper as part of the Diwali celebrations from the British Hindu community in the Northwest. Gift going out to head teachers and other key workers. And with it came a lovely little note about what Diwali stands for, the Festival of Light, as we well know, celebrating the homecoming of Sri Rama, who is the reincarnation of Sri Vishnu, the protector of the universe. And again, a long description here, which I won't read the entirety of, but it says Sri Rama teaches us non-violence, but also fighting for a just cause, compassion, willingness to learn, being truthful and tranquil, being at peace, self-control and integrity of character are the take-home messages for our young generation. He reassures us there will be light over darkness, key at this time of course, knowledge over ignorance, and goodness will prevail in the end. I thought it was a great message going into, or now in the Advent season, and shows the huge overlap and similarities between the various faiths that we enjoy in this country. So yes, a great message there for all our young people, indeed for all our parents at home as well. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Over 11 minutes, going on far too long today, but a few key announcements there just to reflect upon. Can I wish you a wonderful weekend? Enjoy Advent as we progress through. Who can believe it's December already? We've been living with this virus for 9 months, but light at the end of the tunnel on many, many levels. So have a great weekend, and I'll be in touch next week. All the very best to you all. Bye-bye.